All right, so I got a reaction coming at y'all real quick. I told myself that I wasn't going to react to this, but I think there's some good stuff in there, and it's some good teaching points in there. So let's get into it, man. Hopefully this don't be too long, but I kind of want to go through this whole clip, but let's get into it.
I won't. But even though we are not as cooperative as we should be, Trill has noted that the power is in the box. So the woman actually has the power to influence the man to do things that he may not normally do.
Can you clarify that point, please? SB said, Trill noted that the power is in the box. So the woman has the power to influence a man to do, through her box, to influence a man to do what he will not normally do. A woman can use her vagina to influence men to do what he should not normally do. We know that the hierarchy is God, man, woman, children. Why would a woman need to use her vagina to influence a man to do what he's not normally going to do when that's not her role? That would be out of order. As a woman, it's not our job to be influencing men to do anything. It's a man's job to lead, and we should follow. That's how.
Now whoever teaching you the Bible, they should teach you that is a level of influence that a woman is supposed to have on her man. And it's biblical. The problem that y'all having in this is that most women are evil. That's the problem that y'all having. That's honestly the problem that y'all having. Most women are evil. And I'm gonna touch on something right quick. Let me plug my computer up, man. My computer about to die. This is 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 1. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands. So out the gate, it's telling you exactly what you were just saying, that it's a hierarchy, right? So he's still telling the wife to be in subjection to her husband, right? That if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives. Because you have a level of influence by how you carry yourself as a woman. So if your man is not doing what he's supposed to do, the way you carry yourself around him and how you talk to him can influence him to do better. Let's continue.
Oh, I interpreted. Either one can go ahead.
Okay, I'll go. So again, you interpreted it wrong. For the fourth time, I think I've said this. It's not to interpret a man to do what he wouldn't normally do or things of that nature. Again, it's to distinguish the men who are there to be with you long term in comparison to the men who are there to be with you just to smash and move around. That's what I'm saying. Leverage meaning that hold out on the sex. Wait. Let me finish, please.
You're jumping the gun because you're going to talk about leverage. We're talking about influence.
Let me say this really quick. That particular point came from the conflict resolution part 1. So you were not there. So it kind of led in from that particular conversation from part 1. That was how we left part 1. It came from a statement of still men being the head, women's roles. How can we make sure that men are in authority and what is keeping them from being in authority?
Okay, so when you said that, and GP in the chat said what he normally wouldn't do, what I'm trying to understand, SB, if a man is the head and a man is the leader, as women, if we're using our box to influence a man to do what he normally wouldn't do, aren't we then out of order?
No, who we're speaking to are the men who actually allowed this to happen. See, if more men would actually deflect the box or women would preserve the box, we wouldn't have this issue. And that's where he was speaking from. We were talking about how a man is preventing. The last question was, what is preventing a man from being a husband? Or what is preventing a woman from being a wife? That's how we left part 1. And that's a little unfair to you. So I do apologize for that. But that's how we left it.
No, security boss. That is not unfair because she calls herself a content creator. When you're a content creator, you need to go research the content before you make content on it. She didn't do that and she misinterpreted.
No, but even then, I'm still not following it because if a woman is with a man who's not doing what he's supposed to do.
No, it's right? not. No, it's not. That's not happened yet. We were
going on what she just said, right? She said if a woman is with a man, let's just read it one more time. This is 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 1. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word. So this is what you're talking about. Your man is doing something that he ain't supposed to be doing. He's not doing what he's supposed to do. Let me read it again. That if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives. So it's still a level of, because I think we dumbing the conversation down by just talking about the box, right? Because a woman can influence men without having sex with them. I don't know if y'all know that or not. Well, I know Trio know, you know what I'm saying? But women can influence without sex and how she carry herself, how she speak. It is what it is. Let's continue.
Talking about what is keeping men from being husbands. And
as in the qualities of a husband or keeping men from actually signing the paperwork to marry you?
we hadn't gotten that far. It's a question. What do you think that is keeping a man from being a husband, and what do you all think is keeping a woman from being a wife? That's where we were. We were asking women to tell us about the men, and men to tell us about the women.
No, I'm still not clear. I'm still not clear. Was your question is what is keeping a man from being a good leader, provider, protector, and teacher? That was
what's keeping him from, or why he doesn't move, why he doesn't want to move forward. Meaning today's the atmosphere of now is marriage is not an option. So I'm the marriage person. I want the women that want to be married, all women, hopefully, and men that want to be married. They need to have the right information. But what's keeping us? Where are we failing? We're failing with the Instagram. We're failing with the women being so liberal with the box. We're failing this way. So Trill and the other men that were there last time were saying that this is how we need to take power. This is what needs to happen. We need to stop this, but there's so much power in the box. That's why men are so distracted. So we stop there and we pick back up there. So let's talk about that.
It's crazy because when you read in the book of Revelation, right, it talk about the 144,000, right? And in it, it said, these are they that were not defiled with women, right? Because that's how most of our forefathers failed. They failed to women. Adam, David, Solomon. You got countless amounts of our forefathers. Samson. They all failed at the hands of a woman. Why? Because they're influential. It is what it is. It is what it is. But that's the point. That's the purpose of trying to teach the young men to try to maneuver around that, to understand that life is deeper than that, right? Because those 144,000 men that's in Revelation, they're gonna be on the planet. They're gonna be right here on Earth, not falling to the BS that most women try to make men do. That's how it's supposed to go. You read about them brothers in Revelation chapter 7 and deep off into Revelation, but it is what it is. They are not going to be defiled with women because we're teaching the men how not to be defiled by the women.
Again, you were not there, so it was a little bit off for you. So when he's picking back up with it, you managed to turn it around because he's talking not to the women with, oh, you have all the power and all the leverage. He's talking to the men. Stop allowing this to trip you up. This is what you got to do. But he also clarified that for you, though. When you said you didn't understand, he said,
that's why I'm breaking down the video in parts, because what he just said was that
you haven't played that part. You have not played that part.
No, the part that you said. Yeah, I haven't gone that far. The part where you said, Trill said on the last show that the power is in the box, so a woman can influence a man to do what he wouldn't normally do.
I did not say influence a man to do what he wouldn't normally do. Please stop saying that. That is misrepresentation of my point, please. Thank you.
May I chime in for a second, please?
Wait.
And like, okay. Even if that's not his point, right? Let's just say Chantel is you don't know what he's talking about, right? Let's just go off what you just said. She got the power to influence a man to do what he normally wouldn't. I can remember being in high school, watching black men put on little ass shorts and Sperry's. I can remember that. Because the women had the influence that had men doing shit that they wouldn't normally do. What we talking about? It can be as small as the dress code that these dudes are putting on. If women start saying they like a certain style or they like a certain thing, men are gonna start doing that shit. Because why? They want the attention from the women. It is what it is. This ain't nothing new. This ain't nothing taboo. This is just real life. Women have let women stop fucking with the music of today. There will be no more trap rappers. There will be no more gangster rappers. If women only dealt with R&B music, that's all people would make. But as long as the women keep twerking to the bullshit, they're gonna continue to make the bullshit. It is what it is. I don't think a lot of women like to understand how much power they have. The problem is the men allowing them to have that power over them. That's the problem. That's the problem. We're not gonna sit here and act like women don't have the power to influence people to do shit they normally wouldn't do. But let's get into what Trill actually said.
Hold on, game changer. I would hate to misinterpret this part. So let's.
And before you do that, cut your nails down a little bit. Say no.
Pardon me?
Hold on. Let's also know this. Cruise Season, SB Nation, anyone that's on in this particular panel that rocks with me, we advocate for men. That's something that just has to be known. We don't do the opposite. If a woman is disruptive, out of order, we preach order all the time. So over here, some of that is already a given. You just have to know that. And you know, that's just part of it right there. We advocate for men being leaders, order, Bible, God, creator. We advocate for that. I'm not saying Trill be Bible thumping, but I'm just saying that's who we advocate from. The whole thing is about that. So I just want to put that part out there also, because the atmosphere has to be set to understand, maybe even the questions that were being asked. But I apologize. I'll be quiet for me.
No problem. And just to clarify too, we're having this conversation to highlight how certain advice and certain talking points allow women to be so entitled, thinking that I don't need to learn what a man wants. I don't need to bring anything else to the table but my box, because people like Steve Harvey said, girl, your box is golden and a man will fight over your box. And Trill had basically said that. So that's why I'm having this conversation to highlight how that talking point is doing more harm than good for our black community.
Wait, again, I gotta clarify, because again, a lot of y'all content creators like to take what people say, like to misconstrue to feed to y'all audience. That is not what I said. For one, I was not giving advice. In that scenario, I was just like a reporter reporting on what actually happens. And what actually happens is most men are influenced by a box. That is a fact. This is not conjecture. This is not my imagination. This is not anything I've researched. This is reality. So again, I'm not giving advice saying, hey, a man, you should go out there and just be finessed by the women. No, I'm saying that most men are finessed by women due to sex. Even powerful men, successful men, we see it 24/7. Men risk their fortunes for vagina. So for us to sit up here and act like that's not the case, that is being disingenuous. And you are being disingenuous because you are taking what I said and finessing it to try to feed to your base. That is
no.
And if we talk about the Bible, that's true. What we talking about? You can't even get out the first book of the Bible without seeing that. Adam fell to his woman. That's clear. Right? David, Samson, all these brothers, Ahab. Come on, man. I want to go in the Bible right quick, man, just to prove what the brother's saying in the scriptures. Just to prove what the brother's saying in the scriptures. Because, and by the way, I'm gonna just start at verse 13. This is Zerubbabel. This is one of Christ's grandfathers. This is 1 Ezra chapter 4 and verse 13. Then the third, who had spoken of women and of the truth, this was Zerubbabel, began to speak. Verse 14. O ye men, it is not the great king, nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excelleth. Who is it then that ruleth them, or have the lordship over them? Are they not women? So Zerubbabel, they in a competition right now. So basically Zerubbabel was part of the secret service for, I think, the Persian king. So they having a competition right now, and the winner get to basically pick whatever prize he want, basically. So these other men said that it's the king that's the most powerful. Men are the most powerful. Wine is the most powerful. So he said, ain't none of that it. It's women, right? So let's I want to just jump straight to the point. Verse 26. We just gonna go straight to the point, because he said a lot in this. We just gonna get straight to the point. It's 1 Ezra chapter 4 and verse 26. Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sakes. This is the point that Trill making. It's not like you saying this is what men should be doing or what women should be doing. This is how it is. Let me read it again. Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sakes. Because we see these niggas all the time. We call them simps. Men just doing whatever because they trying to get the attention of a woman, or they trying to have sex with her. It is what it is. That's just the truth of the matter. Continuing on, verse 27. Many also have perished, have erred, and sinned for women. We see this all the time. You think these prisons is filled up with dudes that was just out here just thugging it out? Most of the dudes that's in prison right now, they was protecting or defending some woman. They got screwed over by some woman. His girl was cheating on him with some dude. He ended up killing the old boy. Let's keep it a stack. What all these men out here trying to get to this money for? Actually, when you read up, let's verse 18. Yea, and if men have gathered together gold and silver or any other goodly thing, do they not love a woman which is comely in favor and in beauty? They rather have the woman over the money. So why you think these men out here getting to the money? Why you think these men out here selling drugs and scamming and all this other shit? To attract the attention of women. It is what it is. Now the goal is to start raising men up to not be in that frame of mind. But It is what it is. Like I tell my sister, the truth is the truth is the truth. Wherever you speak the truth at, that shit gonna be the truth. It is what it is. Let's continue.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know who just did the sound board, but if I can ask that you hold off on it, please. Trill, the point of the conversation is not if men don't have this discipline or not. As I just said, the point of my conversation is how we emphasize the value of the box. We tell women that the things between your legs is golden and men will fight and kill over it. So black women think, hey, I don't need to bring anything else to the table but my box. And that's what I was just breaking down exactly. I did not put words in your mouth. I let the video play for the full about, I don't know, it was probably like 2-3 minutes. Did not pause it, then reviewed it, went back again the second time, paused it each time. Trying to review it a third time, that way I don't misunderstand or put words in your mouth. The clip that the 30 second that I just showed, SB said, it's the same, straightforward, and that's what we're talking about is straightforward. So we're going to continue. So you both
wait. Real quick. So that whole like women's box in terms of influencing men, in terms of what I said, because I agree, I do stand on that. So are you saying that's not true for the majority of most men? Because if I remember on the panel, and we can rewind that, hopefully you got that part saved, you admitted to the fact that most men are controlled by the box. That's what I said. So are you saying that that's not true?
Yes, most men don't have dick discipline, as I just said.
So again, wait. So again, why are we making content as if something I said was wrong? When you agree to it, please explain
when
that.
you're telling women that all they need is a box and they can leverage the box and control men.
Wait. Again, you are misinterpreting what I said. I did not say all you need is the box. Please stop misinterpreting what I said. We have video.
Let me not misinterpret.
Wait.
Yeah, let me go ahead and play the video. I'm gonna go ahead and play the video.
Let me go in the Bible one more time, man, because this is a clear case of this right here. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 11 and verse 7. Blame not before thou hast examined the truth. Understand first and then rebuke. That's what's going on right here. They are like they talking about two different points. Like the point that Chantel is making is that that's all a woman need to influence, which is not what he's talking about. What he was basically explaining is that that's what most men are ruled by. They are influenced by women. Period. Point blank. That's what they talking about. But she didn't understand. She not understanding his full point. But she keep interrupting him. It is what it is, man. Let me read it again. Verse 7. Blame not before thou hast examined the truth. Understand first and then rebuke. Because sometimes, even now, you know what I'm saying, I might watch a video twice just to make sure the point that I had on my first, you know what I'm saying, because I watch a video and I have a reaction to it. I write down the precepts that you know what I'm saying, that come to me while I'm watching it. I might watch it back just to see if I might have missed something. I try to understand first. So, and sometimes shit, if I go back, I might not even put the video out. It is what it is. You understand first, then you rebuke. But this is a clear case of that. You know what I'm saying? Don't be cutting people off and not letting people get their point out when you don't understand what they're saying, especially when you, because it's clear that shit didn't bother her. Like that shit didn't bother her real bad.
It's like wear your natural hair, and we say no, we won't. Make your dress a little longer, you know. If you just do that, you know, maybe we can get together. No, I won't. But even though we are not as cooperative as we should be, Trill has noted that the power is in the box. So the woman actually has the power to influence the man to do things that he may not normally do. So with that being said, Trill, how would you advise a woman that wants to be married to pursue a man? Not necessarily pursue, but make herself available for men.
So she has to understand the concept of leverage. Just like with anything else in business, like if I'm majority owner of this company, then it's I can throw my weight around in terms of getting what it is that I want from a man. But women don't. I don't want to say have the wherewithal, because they do.
Can you clarify that point? She can throw her weight around in terms of what?
I want to touch on it because I said this to a brother not too long ago that I was going back and forth with on TikTok because he felt the need that he need to correct the men about how the women are moving, how men should just stop sleeping with the sisters. And my response to that is the dudes that's sleeping with these sisters are not the dudes that's listening to us, right? So if we in a mode where we telling the men not to deal with the sisters like that, and this men still dealing with the sisters like that, we need to be talking to the sisters not to allow those dudes to deal with them like that, right? Because the leverage that Trill is talking about is if all women today said we're not having sex with nobody that's not our husband, niggas gonna have to start going and get them papers, man. It is what it is. That's the influence that he's talking about. Don't nothing move on this planet without the women. Period. Men are not finna go without the women. They not finna do it. So women have a level of influence. Whatever the women want, the men is gonna do that. You think men really gave a damn about 2-story houses, $1 million homes? They don't give a damn. Women like it. You think men care about like what they like the 2,000 thread count sheets? They don't give a damn about none of that. Women like the luxuries type of stuff. You think men was building skyscrapers because they just like to look at them? Come on, man. Damn near everything that you see in life. I mean, everything you see in life was damn near influenced by women, and they influenced men to go do it. It is what it is. If women banded together right now, if women say it right now, we're no longer having sex with dudes without being married. I promise you, the marriage rate would increase. I promise you. I promise you. If women said we ain't doing this stupid shit no more, a lot of y'all niggas finna get married. But they not gonna do that, which is the point. It's leverage. It's leverage. Where back in the day, the father held that leverage because you had to go through him to get to his daughter. He wouldn't allow her to just be going out there having sex with whoever. You want to get to my daughter? You gotta do this, this, and that. You couldn't step to a woman's father without being at least a man of integrity or a man with means, period. You weren't finna get no box, you weren't finna get no kiss, you weren't finna get no hug, no nothing. If you wasn't who you needed to be when you stepped in front of her father. But when you took that responsibility out of the father's hands, the women had the leeway to do what they wanted to. It's my body, my choice. And the problem is the choices that they making with their body is detrimental.
What she wants to get from a man, she can use her box to get what she wants to get from her man. Clarify that point.
Marriage.
Throwing your weight around, like I said for the 10th time, I think, to whittle away the guys who are not there for longevity.
It's simple. It's simple. I'm not dealing with you if you ain't trying to deal with me on the long term. I want to get married. That's it. That's it. Cause guess what? Any dude that's just there to smash, you start talking that marriage shit.
This is how you distinguish. You withhold
Very
the box to see
simple
which men are there
concept.
that they actually want to be with you long term, compared to the men who are actually there to smash. You have the leverage to control that, but a lot of women misuse that leverage. They give up the box so early before they even understand what the man is there for, and then blame the man as to how the relationship turned out. So that's what I mean by leverage, right? You have the leverage. You have the leverage to get the. Hold on. Somebody get going. You have the leverage to get the information, the proper information that you need from the man to make the right decision. But most women give up the ass so early that they don't get the intel they need and they make the wrong decision. That's what I meant by leverage.
Okay, go ahead, Game Changer.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure I'm clear on this point. Are you suggesting that women use sexual leverage in order to get men to marry them?
I'm suggesting, I think for the 11th time, you use
sexual.
Wait.
You keep on counting how many times you do it. Can you just?
No, he's wrong. It's 12. It's 12. But go ahead.
Okay, pardon me, 12 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
A woman should use that sexual leverage to see what the man is there for. Not to manipulate a man into being something that he's not, or things like that. Again, I've heard that said a million times on this pod or this live stream, pardon me, and that's incorrect. You use the leverage to get the information you need to make the right decision as a woman. That's what I mean.
Okay, but once again, do you use that leverage to get the man? I mean, I know what you said about how to use it in that way. I'm not talking about what you said. I'm asking what you are going to say. Would you suggest that a woman use sexual leverage to get a man to marry her?
No. Again, I didn't say it then. I'm not saying it now.
Fair.
I am. Shit. What we talking about? That's the problem. It's too many relationships going on without the marriages. Because we're not going to sit here and act like two people who spending time with each other, usually on a day-to-day basis, we seeing each other weekly. Y'all going to start fucking. At the end of the day, y'all going to start smashing, man. Y'all going to start having sex. Y'all going to start liking each other, especially, let's just read it right quick. Let's just read it. We not going to act like these dudes ain't out here spitting game super cold, you know what I'm saying all the right things, right? Because you got to really start paying attention, because these dudes smart, ain't gonna lie. These dudes smart, they hearing what the women saying, they hearing what the men saying. Why would not just kind of like a sister like Chantel? You done heard what these men been saying for years. Now you saying and regurgitating what the men saying. What's the difference between a evil dude hearing what the men telling the women to do? Hey, you should make sure you leverage you should leverage your sex to see where a man mind at on the long term shit. He can say all that shit. He can play the game. But is he gonna follow through with the process? That's the question. Ain't too many people finna sign their name on that paper, man, just so he gets some ass and he gonna leave anyway. Most dudes ain't finna do that. Let's read this. This is Exodus chapter 22, verse 16. But if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. Because that was the law. That was the law for us. We weren't playing like that. Because men can entice women. It is what it is. You telling this woman everything she want to hear. Yeah, you gonna be father of the year. You telling all that good shit, right? But then you turn around after you get it, you like, man, you know, so I did see, I did see Jessica down the street. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to see what that's talking about. After you just told this woman all this beautiful shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got the wedding plan and everything, right? Nah, man, we got to go back. We got to get back in our culture, man. We got to get back into that because it sounds bad to say you leverage your sex for marriage, but that's essentially what it was when the man had to go through the father. You couldn't get the sex until you got married. Why would I have sex with you if I'm not gonna marry you? Because at the end of the day, if she come in contact with multiple dudes that run through that process, right? You play the game like you want to get married. You end up having sex with her before the marriage and you still leave. That's what a lot of women go through. A lot of these sisters, yeah, you got the hoes out here that's really just out here wilding out. But you got other girls, you got other women that's out here, they're getting in relationships with men who they thinking that it's gonna be long term. They thinking it's gonna be the real deal. They sexing this dude, then a year later, oh nah, you know, I ain't really feeling this shit no more. I'm about to bounce. We see this shit all the time. I think that's more normal than women just out here being hoes. I think it's more normal than that a woman will have multiple sex partners because she was in a relationship with a man than women just out here having one night stands. So I'll take it further than what Trill's saying. I think they should definitely leverage that. I'm not having sex with you until we get married. Now we can do all that other stuff, but you ain't touching nothing over here until we get married. That's how it should be at the end of the day, because a lot of our sisters are being slutted out off this mindset of trying to see what my brother mind at. Period. Because I'm telling you, man, people getting smarter, man. People like, especially with all the conversations that we having online, it's a lot of evil niggas watching this content, man. It's a lot of evil dudes that watch this content and don't have no type of remorse when they know they doing some evil, man. I'm just saying, it's crazy.
Or not. That's why I asked. Interpret. That's why I asked. Yeah, what wasn't interpreting what you were saying. I'm asking you to say something. It's a completely different thing, and this is the first time you actually said it. Now, with that being said, True, how come when she said that women are uncooperative, they don't listen to men, they don't do this, the hair, nails, etc., 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 and then she said, what should women do in order to get men to, marry them, etc., etc., etc.? How come the response wasn't to listen to men? I mean, she pointed out the problem, and that was that the women are uncooperative, unwilling to submit, etc., etc., etc. It seems as though the obvious answer to that particular problem would have been to submit. That's just me. But instead, we went into the conversation of sexual leverage. That's why I was asking about that.
Well, for one, you would have to ask SB why she formed the question like that. Because again, she formed the question around what I said in the last part. And like I said, you guys are content creators. You guys are like very avid in the chat and things of that nature. You guys are researchers, experts, all that different things. Go back and watch the footage and find the context in which I said it. I said it, again, speaking from a reporter's point of view, right? I'm not sure you guys are familiar with the news, but fuck it, I'll pardon my language. But get it, I'll fill y'all in, right? A reporter, right?
Of course, we're familiar with the news.
Do not interrupt me, please.
First of all, I'm going to ask that you tone down the whole passive aggressive, like we don't know if we're familiar with the news. Of course we're familiar with the news. We're trying to have a genuine conversation. So hold off with the whole passive aggressiveness, please. You may continue.
For one, I wouldn't have to be passive aggressive if we act like we had something more than a third grader's interpretation level, right? I've said this for the 13th time. I spoke from that context as a news reporter, and I'll give an example, right, to make it a bit more clear, because it seems clearly that a lot of people are confused as to what I said. So that's not being passive aggressive. That's me kind of elaborating, try to get you guys familiar with what I'm talking about, right? So let's say that.
No, you saying if we're familiar with the news was passive aggressive, because why wouldn't we be familiar with the news? That's what I was just saying. Saying those little things, it just caused too much tension. So that's what I was asking you. Please hold off on those little jabs. That's unnecessary. You may continue.
Okay, so I'll hold off on that if you guys hold off on intentionally misinterpreting what I'm saying, right? But let me continue. I'll provide an example. Let's say that a shooting happens somewhere in you guys' neighborhood, maybe 2 streets down or whatever. The news reporter gets there, and he reports on the events of what actually happened, like in reality, like not from an ideal perspective. It's like, hey, shooting happened here, 2 people were shot, whatever the case may be. That doesn't mean that that reporter is trying to imply something, or he's trying to, get a certain message across to a certain demographic. That's saying that he's speaking on the state of affairs, right? So when I'm giving my explanation as to this, and SB asked me last part in terms of, like, what do I mean by the vagina is so powerful? I said that the vagina is the most powerful assets in existence. What I meant by that is that it's very, very influential. And again, you co-signed it in our last live stream, in which you said that, because we were speaking on, like, well, why would you say that if we're trying to, get the message out that, men, well, no, you said, why would you say that if in ideal world, a man is the leader, a man isn't swayed by that, a man isn't this, a man isn't that? Again, you're speaking in ideal. I'm speaking in reality. So what I asked you was, I said, okay, these men of honor, these men that would turn down the vagina, these men that would, be stand firm on what it is that they believe in, would you say that those guys are the minority, or would they be the majority? And you said, out of your mouth, that would be the minority of men who would do that, right? So again, my point was is that most men are easily influenced by vagina, regardless of how successful they are. And that's why that gets them in a lot of the predicaments that they are in. So I said that is this, right? You have a whole woman group that is, again, on the same page, especially when it comes to being against men, right? So if you have this majority of this woman group together, and you have the majority of men, your words, not mine, who are easily influenced by vagina, why on God's green earth would you guys go against my notion that vagina is the most influential aspect of America? That would mean that the full majority of women and most men are easily influenced by vagina. So that would mean that those men are on your team. Y'all can puppet string them however y'all want to, right? That is a fact. So this is not a situation where I'm speaking from conjecture or anything like that. That is a fact. Mm-hmm. So again, how is my statement that vagina being as powerful as it is wrong?
Because it's out of order. It's out of place. The vagina, and let's say use the word box for YouTube.
She don't get it. She don't get it. She don't get it. Whether it's out of order or not is not the point. That's not the point. The point is that's what it is. That's what it is. And also, I'm pretty sure Trill has said that if a woman want to get the men that she want, submission is the way. But I'm pretty sure that probably wasn't the conversation. But at the same time, even those women that are submissive, they should leverage their sex. You should not give no man no sex if he's not marrying you. Whether that's obviously you would tell the woman that, to have particular characteristics. But if you have those characteristics and this man that had sex with you and he skate off, did it help you? You still got to do things the right way. Because according to the scriptures, you're supposed to get married before you have sex with somebody, right? So we tell people that they should marry before they carry, right? The easiest way to prevent not having a child before getting married is to not have sex. It's very simple. It's very simple. I'm gonna stop the clip right there, man. Like this is a clear case. This is a clear case of understand first, then rebuke, because what they talking about. And this stereotypical, this is the typical shit when you're talking to women. They want to talk about how it should be instead of what it is. If we're not going to address what it is, we can never get to how it should be, because you got to correct what it is. He didn't say that it was right or wrong or if it's how it's supposed to be. It's just what it is. From the beginning of time, that's what it's been. One of the most powerful things on the planet is a woman. That's clear cut. And it's in the Bible. Said the same thing in 1 Ezra chapter 4. When you read that whole chapter, it shows you just how weak men are to women. But you have a select few, very small percentage of men that's willing to be like, I'm good on that shit. Actually, Christ talked about it in Matthew chapter 19. Paul talked about it in 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Yeah. Because actually, when you read the scriptures, Christ and his apostles was like, honestly, y'all probably shouldn't get married. But the fact that most of y'all gonna be dealing with sexual lust, y'all need to get married. That's in Matthew chapter 19. It's Matthew 19, 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Christ said the same thing Paul said. To avoid fornication, you should be looking to get married. But his apostle said, well then, if that be the case with the woman, it's better to not get married. Christ said, yeah, everybody can't hear that though. Everybody can't do that. But you know, it is what it is, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Do y'all think that women hold the influence? Because I'm taking it further than just the sex part. Because shit, I done seen women without the sex, you know what I'm saying, get dudes to move at the end of the day. But the goal is for the men not to be controlled by that. That's the goal, but that's not the norm. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Come on.